I've been able to create a character who's a Marvel superhero, who's an Arab American kid from Dearborn. That's felt remarkable. I mean, I knew that I wanted to try and increase that particular representation at Marvel from the day they hired me. I knew that I wanted his powers to be mostly defensive in nature rather than an attacker. I knew I wanted him to be physically a big guy. I kind of pictured this guy as an ex-football player. She knows instantly the kind of big guy that I mean, right? And what his face looks like. She knows what his nose looks like. You won't necessarily have that with somebody who doesn't have that kind of community familiarity.
We needed to make sure that with his size, with his bulk, he could instantly be perceived as friendly, as not a threat, which with a lot of Arab men's experiences, that's not often the case. My role was to subvert expectations. I wanted to make sure I created something that was instantly recognizable to people who identified like Fadi Fadlalah.
I've talked to hundreds of people, thousands of people, to whom it mattered that there was like a black woman leading the X-Men for a while, right? Storm in the 1980s. Even when it was just that little geeky world, there are lots of people to whom it mattered. This was something that was screaming to me to be done.
I didn't realize what I was missing until I saw what representation really could have been for me. That first volume fundamentally changed my whole perspective. I don't want to sound over dramatic, but it was life-changing for me. Audiences are so hungry for new stories and new perspectives. We've seen it all in terms of the Avengers, and it's just been 1 decade long of the same characters and the same faces again and again and again. And it's time to let in new voices.
We're using these characters to make sense of the world around us. And to me, that's always been what mythology does. We've been telling stories about kind of super characters for thousands of years. They've always been stories that also say something about the world around us. The ability to weigh in on that and to contribute and say, let's tell this story instead of that story. Let's make the character look like this instead of that. Especially when we're talking about characters that then go on to be part of animation, part of film, that people all over the world are gonna interact with. To me, that's important work, I think.
We've seen the same thing over and over again, where the stereotypes, they're not just offensive, they're just boring. We need something new. There's no excuse for bad storytelling anymore when there's so much new talent and new perspectives that you can showcase instead.
It's wonderful for me to see this generation of artists that's kind of, a half generation younger than me coming up, especially a lot of young women, Muslim and Arab American artists and writers who are kind of really pushing everything further and smarter and more empathic and more diverse.
This is your time to step forward and share your perspective and share your voice. Publishers want it, editors want it, and they're looking for it. If more people are a part of changing the Arab American narrative, if more people are part of adding to the immigrant perspective, we all win.